Hello and welcome to Theater Talk. This is Theater Talk for Dirty Dancing at Proctor's Theater in Schenectady, New York. And we have a large audience of people who've already seen the program, and we have several of the people who are in the production. So I'd like to ask them to introduce themselves, and then it is open for any questions that you may have. So why don't you start?
My name is John Powell, and I play the part of Jake Houseman.
And where are you from?
Oh, thank you. I'm from Blackfoot, Idaho.
Hi, my name is Jerome Harmon Hardiman, and I play Tito, and I'm from New York City.
Hello, I'm Matt Borchers, and I'm in the ensemble, and I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm Hannah Jane McMurray. I play Marjorie Houseman, and I'm originally from Los Angeles, California.
Hi, I'm Melissa Breezy. I play Lisa Houseman, and I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
Hi, I'm Henry Bialykov. I'm from Australia. I'm the dance captain, swing, and understudy. Today I was in the ensemble role.
You're from all over. Welcome to Schenectady. Welcome to our area. And we're open for questions. Anybody have any questions at all? It's going to be a short, yes, way in, I knew it, way in the back. Yes, sir, go ahead. Since this was such a popular movie, how much freedom did you have in character interpretation for the stage production? It looks like you're drawing the short straw on this one.
Hey, it's me. I know a lot of us didn't even rewatch the movie, I think, right before we started rehearsals for this, and we really were given a lot of freedom. But the script itself, which is very closely related to the screenplay, the same writer, kind of helps guide us in a very similar direction as a lot of characters in the movie are kind of portrayed as well. So hopefully the idea is that you get kind of like the essence of the character is the same throughout with very different interpretations based on whoever's playing that role at the time. So we had a lot of fun and we got to play and explore a lot, and I don't think we really felt locked into any expectation in that way. But does anyone else want to?
And it looks like you guys do have fun.
We do. I'd say so.
Also, there are several scenes for Marjorie and I that are not in the movie, so that helped us to really be able to develop our relationship and our character.
Okay. I have a question, too, about the technical end, and it's really that rear screen where all the scenes are, and I found it interesting. I thought, oh, that's just a rear screen projection type thing, and then I saw it opening up, and the scene followed the opening. How does that work?
Yeah. How does that work?
Well, you know, does
the concept behind it?
No, not the concept, but just the fact that you can. It looks like it's rear projection. Is it projection?
Yeah,
or is
so we have a rear LED wall that opens up. If you imagine like a garage that opens up sideways, that's essentially what it is. And
but
in
the
back,
picture, it's an LED screen where
Correct.
the picture is actually on the device itself.
we have
any
four projectors that project onto varying scrims that come in and out.
Right.
But we have that LED wall at the back that is projecting through
so
it.
That's a different system being used
Correct.
to create the picture.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Technical.
Man, I was really wondering about that. Questions? Yes.
As you tour with this production, each week you're obviously in a different city with different local reviews. Do you read those reviews, and if so, just out of curiosity, or are there tweaks made to the production if there's a consistent criticism?
Okay, there is.
I will answer
You're at different cities throughout the United States and wherever, different stages every week. Do you pay attention to the newspaper critics, what they say, and if there is a consistent criticism, do you make adjustments?
Okay, so
We're talking about your favorite people, right?
yeah. Speaking personally, I don't read reviews, and I think the majority of the cast does not read reviews. However, the writer gets all the reviews, And the director, they get all the reviews in every city that we go to. They do not change a thing, no matter what the reviewer says and no matter how consistent maybe a criticism is. Because lots of times the criticisms are opinion about someone's portrayal of a character. You know what I mean? So to go back to your question about the film and how closely related we are to the film, often people will come to see the production and kind of almost expect the film on stage. And so sometimes the reviewers criticize it based on that criteria. And there's no way you can change it for that because we can't bring Patrick Swayze back and Jennifer Grey refuses to come back. So, yeah, but no, we don't change for critics. And with the union also, just so you know, once a show is set, once you open, you're not allowed to change it really. The writer can make some changes, but you're kind of stuck with that production until you close it and reopen it again.
That's a rule I never knew. Okay. Yes.
First of all, tell Sophie she was amazing.
You got it.
Thank you.
Compliments. Okay.
Is Bronwyn okay? Yes, hold on for a second. We have a report on Bronwyn.
Yes, coming from her sister. She's okay. She's just sick. Hopefully she'll be back soon. Yeah, but I know she's getting better, so just some time, some sleep, and a lot of Dayquil and NyQuil will probably do the trick. Yeah.
Understand that well. Questions? Yes. How long have you played the parts? Have you been pretty much together since the beginning, or is it a lot of in and out?
We're all individual. Wow, I'm loud. I've been with production since this new incarnation, since 2014. So I've been with production for 2 years, 2.5 years. And everyone else has been here since August 15th of 2016. So everyone is new except for me, the old guy.
Okay, so it's at least there's some well, I'm not saying you're not consistent, but some consistency in the grouping. And are you all basically going to be staying for the same length of time, or is your contract for the same length of time, or are there varying amounts of time?
I believe that all of the principals in the show have a year contract. I don't know if there are shorter contracts or not in the ensemble, but we're here for a year, for the year.
Okay, we got a yes nod from the ensemble. So, all right, questions? Yes.
How did you enjoy going down memory lane, being in a show set in 1963 when most of you don't look like you were born yet?
You know, I was thinking of the last number in the show. That's exactly how I danced it in high school. How did it feel joining a show that was set in 1963 when none of you were alive?
I was alive. I was 4 years old. So I remember 1963 actually. I was a dancer when I started acting, or being on stage. And so in 1987, when the movie came out, it was, my favorite movie because the principals actually did their own dancing. So yeah, it was great, and I remember '63 very well. So it was really great to go to the drugstore and get the Brill cream that I used to use when I was young to put in my hair and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
It's great, and it's we spend a lot of our lives doing work that is period from different decades. And the 50s, 60s is a really popular one. We've got Hairspray, West Side, Bye Bye Birdie, so that's kind of part of, I think a lot of us are kind of training wherever we come from, learning how to reincarnate the jerk and the mashed potato, and from a dance standpoint, to kind of honor what was going on at the time.
Was Dirty Dancing as big in Australia as it is here in the United States?
My friend, it definitely reached our shores. I mean, I am, a living example of it actually reaching our shores. So my background is I'm a ballroom dancer. I started ballroom dancing at 9 years old. And there were two films that came out that really kind of blew my mind as to what could be achieved with ballroom and what you could do in terms of storytell. And one of them was Strictly Ballroom, which was an Australian movie. I don't know if any of you have seen it. If you haven't, you absolutely should. It's hilarious. But it also tells a similar story. But Dirty Dancing, for me personally, was the one that really kind of blew the lid off. I saw, the steps that were made, the characters that developed, and to me it was magical. And one thing I know, it's going to sound very corny, but it's true, is every time Time in My Life comes on, I got to work with Bronwyn before she came on, and we were training, and we were doing some lessons before the actual show started. And every time I hear that song, it's just magical. It's I imagine the whole scene, and as you said, the question was, how is it, reliving, so to speak, even though we weren't living at that point, is 63, it's wonderful to be able to just inhabit that type of character, that type of time, and interpret it your way. So, as an Australian, I enjoy it just as much as everyone else.
And for those of us a little longer in the tooth, it's a great nostalgia trip. The music is just wonderful. Questions? Yes. Who sang In the Still of the
Jordan
Night?
Andre.
Jordan Andre sang In the Still of the Night. Okay.
He played Billy, yeah.
Yep. There was some wonderful singing, and the musical combo that you had on the raised stage was just
Shantae and Jerome and
just
Jordan Andre. They're
beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful work. Okay. Question, yes, in the front.
We can't reveal all the secrets. I mean...
repeat the question while you...
So the question was, falling in the water, how hurt do the principals get? It's a little secret. It's a little magic that happens backstage. If we told you, it wouldn't be as magical, right? But they're not injured. Okay? Just Bronwyn's a little sick, that's all.
Okay. And there was another question, yes.
Yeah, this is for Alyssa. How much fun do you have with that Lisa's hula? Are you able to change that up at all? Or do you do it the same every time?
Okay. How much fun do you have with Elisa's...
Lisa character.
Oh, Lisa character, and do you change it up at all? And I would presume from your answer you can't.
I do not change it up. In rehearsals, I had a bit of freedom. We would go through the movements, and the choreographer would say, like, what's your interpretation? Do you want to add your own little thing? And of course, I obviously want to. So I love to be goofy. She's a hilarious character, but has a lot of depth to her as well. I think she's so fun to play because she's really serious about a lot of things, but the things that she's serious about come across as quite hilarious because they're very materialistic and things that people normally would not really care too much about. But the hula is hysterical. I love it. I remember when I was learning it, I couldn't hold it together. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this and not find myself funny. But luckily, I don't find myself funny anymore, and hopefully you guys think I am. So it's so I have a lot of fun, and no, I do not change it.
Wonderful. Questions?
This lady in the middle. Yeah. Right there. Stand up.
Okay. What is the main difference between the first version you played in and this one, since it's an incarnation?
Two things. The projections on the screen that you see in the back, those were also on the flats, in the wings. So it was all LED walls everywhere. And for the smaller production, this production, they cut the LED walls, hence we have the projections from the front. And the other one is the contract. So they changed the contract from a production contract to what's called a CETA contract, which is a short engagement touring agreement. That was it.
And the
Everything
cast.
stayed the same. And the cast.
And how many cities are you guys going to be playing in all the way through, and how long?
That's
Well,
a-
it's the 1 year, but how many cities?
Yeah, has anybody memorized the schedule?
It's about 45, 46 cities.
45 or 46 cities.
Wow.
Through June of 2017.
That's a lot of motel rooms. Yes.
How do you like Proctor's compared to other theaters?
How do you like Proctor's compared to other theaters? You got to give the right answer here. You realize it's a.
This is
No.
by far our most favorite theater.
All right, now the honest answer.
It's absolutely gorgeous. We have so much space. We also came from a theater in Jersey that was just a little bit tighter backstage, so it's really great. We've got all of the room for all of our set pieces and all of our quick change chairs, and then some more room to just like have some fun around backstage.
Well, that's good. We're very proud of Proctor's Theater, and I'm glad you guys enjoy being here and playing here. Questions? Yes.
Who helped design the makeup room where they have all the changing tables? Where they, if you named designed that on the second floor. Have you painted your table yet?
We don't know anything about this.
Painted a table?
We don't know.
Yeah, what is it? Okay. All right. There was something about painting a table up on the second floor in the dressing rooms, and we're a little mystified. So we will find out. We will find out. All right. Questions? Yes. In the back by the wall. Okay. Can you give us a little more background, like how you got into this racket?
He has a fascinating story.
Oh. Well, I came from Blackfoot, Idaho. We didn't have a lot of opportunity to do theater back there. In fact, my senior play was canceled because of lack of interest. So I started acting, dancing, singing when I was 19. I went to BYU in Utah, and I've been an actor since. The last 5 or 6 years for me has been really, really hard, so I've been working full-time in a law firm. And I had actually given up on the idea that I was ever going to have this opportunity. My manager called me one day and said, "Do you want to do it?" And I said, "No." I'd been in for Mamma Mia 8 times and never got cast or a call back. So I said, "No, I'm not going to do that to myself anymore." But he said, "They just want you to send in a tape." So I put a scene on tape and I sent it in. The next Monday, they called and said, "They want to meet you." And I said, "What?" On Skype, because I live in Los Angeles now, even though I'm from Idaho. So I met with the director, the writer, the casting director, and it took about 10 minutes. And I thought, oh, well, that was fun. And I went back to my job at the law firm. And the next day, they called me and said, "We want to offer you the show." So I've been singing and dancing my little heart out since I was 19 years old. And now at 57, I get to go on tour with a national tour.
That is a great story. How about the rest of you? Give us a little synopsis of how you got into this.
Okay. So I started tapping like when I was 6 because I used to watch the old black and white Mickey Mouse Club, the original, and they had the sign-in tap dance number, and I was on like any hard floor with the hard shoe that I could get, trying to mimic it. So my parents were like, "We gotta get him into something." And from there, and I kind of grew up. My parents are musicians, and so that kind of was a part of it too. And then in high school, I kind of realized I could put all 3 together in this crazy thing we call music theater, and got into University of Oklahoma, where I spent 4 years training there, and where I actually met David Scotchford, one of our associate choreographers. And so this summer I got a email from my agent saying, "Hey, you want to come back in for Dirty Dancing? I'd been in before, because I know David, and it's just fun to be in the room with him. And I was like, oh, they didn't cast me before. I mean, I'll go back in. I'll go back in. I love David, and the combo's fun. And then went through this little rigorous 2 full days of partnering and filming the combos and all this, and emailed David, and I totally felt like I did not got it. I was like, this was not my best. I had fun, and emailed David, and I was like, thank you so much, and got an offer. So here we are.
Good. Good. Brief. We're running a little tight on time because we want you guys to get ready, but go ahead and give a quick synopsis of how you got into this.
Mine's very short. I come from a family of performers. My grandparents and my parents were all actors, and I think they just didn't know what else to do with me. So they put me in theater, and here I am.
Law just didn't work out for you, huh? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm from Vancouver, Canada, of course. I started dancing when I was 3. Even though I don't look like it, I'm actually a dancer first, so it's kind of a tricky part for me to do. I moved away from home when I was 12 to dance at the National Ballet School. Then I moved on to the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. Then I moved to the Alberta Ballet, and then I decided to go home because ballet wasn't really for me. When I was 16, I ended up on a musical theater reality TV show in Canada as a finalist, which brought me to be a replacement in my senior year of high school on the High School Musical tour. After school, I went to AMDA in New York. I then moved to Japan. I was an aerialist for Tokyo Disney. And then I toured with Beauty and the Beast for 2 years as the swing dance captain. And then I was in Vegas doing a few shows, and then I ended up doing a new show called Idaho, which is the same choreographer. Same choreographer as this, and then she got me an appointment for the show, and I was in as a dancer the entire time. I was in for ensemble cover Baby Cover Lisa. All 6 times we had auditioned, Henry and I. And after my final callback, 2 days later, I got a call and with the offer of Lisa, and I was like, did you call the right person? So that's how I am here. But yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Good.
So my path was kind of a little like this. It started with ballroom dancing, competitive ballroom dancing on the national circuit in Australia and then the international circuit. I sort of got to the highest level that I wanted to and then decided this isn't for me, because there were certain aspects to the ballroom competitive world, if anyone is familiar with it, that just I didn't like. It was very political, but you can still push past it. I didn't want to. I kind of neglected school, and so I went back to academics and got myself into university doing finance and economics of all things. It was very exciting. I got myself a job with a firm called KPMG doing corporate finance, and I hated it. Every day I got so depressed. I loved wearing a suit to work. I just did not enjoy the work. And then So You Think You Can Dance in Australia came for the first time. And one of my teachers, I was still teaching dance at this time. I wasn't dancing for 3 years. One of the teachers said, Henry, why don't you go and audition? I said, no, it's not for me. I'm done. And then I drove home that day, and I remember distinctly, I still remember it today, thinking, yeah, I should give it a go. What have I got to lose anyway? So I was like, who am I going to get as a partner to audition? Long story short, auditioned, worked very well, made the top 4 in the end, top 4 males. And then from then on, I realized I got to quit university and finance and just go with what I really want to do. And so I followed my passion. I did Dancing with the Stars in Australia. I represented Australia in a show in LA called Superstars of Dance. It was like a 6-nation competition on TV. And then I did Dancing with the Stars in America. And I recently came off the show and started pursuing theater with Forever Tango, with shows. I don't know if anyone knows Maxim Shmerkovsky. He's a good friend of mine. We've done shows together. Sway Miami was one of them. In Your Arms with Christopher Gattelli, who's also a wonderful choreographer, Broadway choreographer. And so slowly, I was inching towards my goal. Basically, So You Think You Can Dance opened my eyes, not just for dance, but also I saw everybody doing so many different things I wanted to study. I thought, okay, I'm going to study singing. I'm going to study acting. I'm going to study ballet at 24. I mean, who does that? That's what I did. And thank God, Dirty Dancing came at just the perfect time. And I auditioned with Alyssa literally 5 times over the span of like 5 or 6 months. We ended up in a room. It was me, Alyssa, and Jen Jones, who plays Penny in the show. Just the 3 of us with the whole creative team. This was our 3rd audition. And we're all looking at each other like, guys, we got to have the part already. I mean, come on. And they said, we'll call you. And so, a month and a half later, they call and they say, come to New York. But at this stage, Jen Jones is already on as Penny. And were you already contracted at that stage? I wasn't. You weren't? So we did New York and I just thought, so many times, God, come on. And then finally it came through and then here I am.
Good.
Wow.
Brief, if you don't mind.
Brief. I've been doing this for 25 years. Is that brief enough?
Successfully.
Yeah, this is all I've done. I've worked. I started out as a ballet dancer. Then from ballet, I moved to theater. Then from the United States, I moved to Germany, and I worked for the State Theater in Germany and Austria for 8 years. I speak German. And then I came back, and this is all I've done for 20 years.
Wonderful. These folks have got to get ready for their evening performance. With all this dancing they do, I know they're going to have a big plate of pasta just so they're ready for this. But how about a nice round of applause for them? Thank you all very, very much for taking the time to be with us. Appreciate it. I'm Jack Arneke. Thank you for joining us, and have yourself a wonderful day.